Hello everybody, it's Mark again. I just wanted to make this video today outside because it's a beautiful day, the sun's shining, we got the wind chimes going on, and I just really wanted to make this video because recently we were talking about addiction on my channel, and I had a really interesting conversation with my uncle the other day, and pretty soon we'll have a podcast coming out, and we were talking about, the dangers of addictions and what steps we can make to actually conquer that. My goal here on this channel, my goal here in general in my life, is to help people become their greatest version, and our optimal lifestyle has nothing to do with dependency or addiction of any sort. So me coming from a background of dependency and definitely being burned by the fire of addiction and all the negative things it causes, and luckily being able to emerge the other side stronger and a better person, I wanted to share what I've gone through and what's helped me along my journey to become free of addiction and dependency, and give you all some actionable tips as far as what we can do as far as breaking free of dependency. And it doesn't matter what you're dependent to, because every person on the world, we all have our vices, and I still have mine. We have to really understand our desires and look at our end goal in our life, reverse engineer where we want to be, and then we take the necessary actions, and then we can get there. It's really simple. You just have to have a plan, and I really believe that, me personally, having a plan and having a strategy, that is the sole reason that I was able to break free from my dependency. And like I said, it does not matter what you're dependent to, because dependency, addiction works the same way. You can really be addicted to anything. It doesn't matter if it's substance, hard drugs, cigarettes, video games, sex. You can be addicted to literally anything. There's a show on TLC called My Strange Addiction, and it kind of blows my mind sometimes. I'm sure you've all seen it at some point. But so without further ado, I'd probably just want to dive in and give you all 4 actionable tips that you can take as far as breaking an addiction. So the first step as far as breaking an addiction, and I'm pretty sure this is the first step as far as Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not familiar. I've never been addicted to alcohol, but I know it's very, very easy to become, it's very habit forming, and there's a lot of people who struggle with that, and they need to come together. It's a good support group for people as far as improving that. Their number one step is admitting that you have a problem. And I believe that is number one, most crucial. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol. You have to admit that you have a problem as far as anything you're dependent to. And I know there's a big issue with this because, there's a lot of stigma attached to addiction, because when you hear the word addiction, you think of an addict. And when you think of an addict, your brain will conjure up the most horrible image of a person that you can ever imagine. Someone that steals and someone that lies. You're automatically going to assume the worst case scenario, but there are levels to it. So you need to understand that on some level of the spectrum, if you have a dependency, you must consider yourself an addict to be able to get further and to be able to progress. Because if you're in denial about your addiction, you won't see your actions as a problem. And at that point, when you don't see the problem, you can't confront it. You have to know your enemy and able to win. So admitting that you have a problem and admitting that you're dependent is the first step that you have to take in order to actually become free of dependency. So admitting it, you need to admit it, destigmatize it, and understand that even though you have a dependency, you are a product of your environment, and you aren't a horrible person. You are suffering through an addiction. An addiction, a lot of people, like I said in my last video about addiction, people talk about if it's a disease or a choice. Absolutely, you did make the choice to get yourself into this situation, but realize this is afflicting you now, and you just have to work through it. And just like any other illness, you have to take the necessary procedures to work through your symptoms and then recover. So understand that, destigmatize that, and don't see yourself in a negative light. You are just suffering through this, and you can get through it. You will get through it, and I promise you, but you just have to take these actions. So that's step 1, is admit it, destigmatize it, and accept yourself on the road to recovery. Accept that you are addicted, but you are going to get better because you understand the enemy, and you can fight it now because it's in the light. So we're going to dive into number 2. Number 2, you need to restructure your life. So basically, there's a lot of things as far as addiction. You realize it's a habit, so you need to look at your habit. Habits are made out of 3 things. You have a cue, so whatever it is that tells you it's time to engage in your habit. You have your action, that's your habit itself. It could be smoking a cigarette, doing the drug or whatever, having sex, playing video games, that's your action. And then number 3 is the reward. And all 3 of these will encompass a habit. And basically addiction, it's really easy to knock all 3 of these out instantly, because a lot of things you can get addicted to as far as substance, in my experience, that in itself is a reward. So really just the 3 is encompassed into just one action. So basically you need to restructure your life, and what this means is you need to remove your capacity to engage in this habit anymore. So the thing is, in my experience, being addicted to a lot of drugs, whether that was Xanax, methamphetamine, opiates, morphine, literally so many different drugs. The first thing I decided I needed to do, get rid of all these things that I have around me, because I know that if I have these around me, I'm going to do these drugs. So what I did, I threw them all away. And then at that point I realized, since I already admitted my problem and I recognized myself as an addict wanting recovery, I got rid of the substances, and then I looked at my ability to get these, which people, are helping me, enabling my habit. Get rid of these people in my life. If somebody is going to, it could be even your friends, you need to restructure your life. So if someone is going to offer you this or enable your habit, if you aren't willing to cut them out of your life, you have to confront that person and let them know that you aren't allowing this anymore. You are unwilling to indulge in this habit. And whether that takes, you need to take it into your own hands. If, the habit trumps the relationship, you need to choose yourself over this person and cut them out of your life. It's hard to restructure your circle and make changes in your life, but it's necessary in order to become better and to improve your situations. If you don't make changes, you're not going to get different results. So that's really important, is you need to remove the cue itself as far as the habit. So make sure that you don't have the capacity to indulge anymore. That is number 1. That's crucial as far as restructuring. And then in addition to, whatever it is you're indulging in, also restructure the support group and restructure the people you are around, because, those are the people you engage with on a daily basis supports your actions. So you need to change the people you hang around with and implement people into your life that support what's best for you and support the changes that you're willing to make, and understand that you are going through something pretty difficult right now, and you need people that are going to be there for you whenever times are tough, and someone you can support you whenever things are hard for you, because addiction is not an easy road to conquer, and it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of trying times where you're going to feel like giving up, and you may even relapse at some point. I mean, it's not uncommon to hear about that, and a lot of people do, but the thing is, you have to stay persistent and know who you can lean on and have them to support you along your journey, because you're going to need that, because at a certain point you may be strong enough to conquer it yourself, but it doesn't hurt to have people with your best interests in mind. So definitely understand who those people are, keep them close to you, and then use all the struggles in this trying time to build strength in your relationship. Use it as momentum to carry yourself forward, because it's going to be really hard. Understand that I've been addicted to very, very, very dangerous drugs that could have ended my life, and I was still able to break free. So I guarantee you can break free of whatever is afflicting you. I promise you that. You just have to take the right actions like I did, and you can get there. So we're going to dive into number 3. So number 3, you're going to create new habits. You're going to take these bad habits and then just replace them with new ones. And we're going to take this a step further. This is bonus. If you can create habits that will actually not synergize with the old habit, that's an even bigger bonus, because let's say you smoke cigarettes, start running, go to the gym, do something that, involves your lungs, because, you're not going to want to smoke a cigarette right after you run, because it's going to make you feel like shit, or, brush your teeth or do something. There's one person in my life that's actually pretty dear to me, and here's an example. This person suffered with an eating disorder for a really, really long time in their life, like over 6 years, bulimia. So they had a hard time keeping their food down, and definitely struggled with it for such a long time, and it was so painful, and they definitely were suffering greatly. And at one point, they actually got their tongue pierced because they figured that's one other obstacle, in front of them, because if they have, an open wound in their tongue, they're not going to be able to, well, it's not going to be in their best interest to keep purging and then, infect the wound in their mouth with stomach acid, if that makes any sense. This is kind of a crude example, but I hope you understand the point. Is just start doing things that will put obstacles in your way. So whether that's meditation, reading books about, addiction, reading books about bettering yourself, taking up a hobby, doing things that you need to devote your attention to so you can't indulge in your habit anymore. That's really critical. So that's number 3, is indulging or implementing changes and building new habits. And so number 4, this is very, very critical, and this is almost one of the biggest reasons on this list, and I feel like this has given me some of the most results as far as conquering my addiction and, giving me progress on my road to recovery. So that is creating a list of reasons, because it's going to be difficult conquering your addiction, and there's going to be a lot of trying times. So you need to come up with a list of reasons why you're doing this, and the more comprehensive this list is, the better it'll be. So you need to look at this in terms of assets and liabilities. So if whatever your habit is, start listing off the reasons why you can't indulge in it. And I'll give you some examples as far as what I've gone through. Let's use methamphetamine as an example. When you do methamphetamine, it's poison. So you're putting poison in your body. That's a liability. It's bad for your health. You're stimulated, you're not going to be able to eat. You need to eat in order to live. You need to sleep in order to live. When I do methamphetamine, I don't do any of those things. When I do methamphetamine, I prioritize the drug over literally anything in my life. And I will lie to people, and it'll strain my relationships, and I will hide what I'm doing from people. And in addition, the drug is illegal. I could be arrested for it. I could go to prison for my entire life, because that is a drug of huge magnitude that nobody should even be touching. So keep that in mind. That's the liabilities. And then also make this list as comprehensive as you can. I cannot emphasize that enough. So also look at everything you stand to benefit. So in my example, I can eat when I'm not on meth. I can drink water. I can sleep normally. I can have relationships. I can pass a drug test. I can literally do anything I want to, because this isn't holding me back. I'm not spending money on it. It's making me more financially independent, increasing abundance in my life. Look at everything you stand to benefit, because there's going to be a lot of hard times where you're going to want to dive back into your habit. But in those times, you refer to the list and you look at every reason why. And we can take this a step further. You need to have a list of yourself. I don't recommend just keeping it in your brain. Write it down. And then if you can take this a step further, make a symbol for your list, okay? And make sure you see this all the time, and remind yourself constantly, there is no limit to how much you can do this, because it's going to help you. I'll give you something that's helped me. I mean, you can really take this as far as you want, because this is going to give you benefits. So through the heat of my addiction, I actually had a playing card in my wallet. This card was the Ace of Spades, and a lot of times I would go into the bathroom, in order to indulge in whatever substance, and before I would put anything down, I didn't want to throw it on the back of a toilet or anywhere in a public restroom or anywhere unsanitary. So I would actually put this playing card on it and on anywhere in the bathroom, and then put whatever it is, snort it right off the card. And that's what I would do for a long time in my life. And after I made the decision and admitted my addiction and decided that I wanted to recover, I threw that card away, I burned it, and then I tattooed the Ace of Spades on my wrist. So every time I ever wanted to indulge in my habit, or I thought it's going really bad and I just want to, this drug would just literally fix every problem I'm going through right now, this is too hard, I would look at this tattoo on my wrist, and I would instantly be reminded of every reason why I can't keep doing this to myself, and why this lifestyle isn't going to give me any benefits, and what I stand to gain from staying true to myself and breaking my habit. And that helped me tremendously. So that is honestly, in my opinion, the most, maybe besides admitting the problem, that might be the most crucial one of these steps that will give you the most results as far as keeping you on your road to recovery and keeping you focused and just knowing what's in your best interest and getting you to your end goal of a lifestyle free from dependency, because that's the optimal lifestyle for all of us. We don't want to be addicted to anything, or we're definitely we'll get there. Addiction is definitely a difficult thing to struggle through, but if I can do it, anybody can. I promise you, you can get through it. Just know the steps that you can take as far as getting better results, and then just stay focused, stay persistent. And if you come through roadblocks, which I guarantee there will be, just stay focused, because like, I obviously don't touch too much about the drug use in this video and the ones previous, but I guarantee it was not a walk in the park for me. And there were a lot of points where I went through depression, anxiety. I went through so many times where all I wanted to do was just do drugs. You know, I can't tell you how it feels to cry because you want to do methamphetamine. It's really, really horrible. But I promise you, you can get through anything that's going on right now. And just stay focused, listen to what I told you, and confide in your support group, and you will get there, I promise you. And if you don't get there instantly, you will get there. Just stay persistent. Sometimes things take time, but I promise if you stay focused and know what you're doing and know what it's all for, you will get there, I guarantee it. But I really appreciate you all watching this video. I know this was a pretty long one, but I hope there was a lot of value you're able to take through it. So, I would like you all to know I really do love and appreciate you all watching these videos. So, in addition to, you know, me sharing my love with you, you can also take 20% off our website, metagifts.com, using coupon code LOVE, love. Become your greatest version. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really do appreciate you. Have a blessed day.